Very good morning, my dear students. In the previous classes we discussed determinants of a consumer behavior thoroughly. Today we will have to discuss a new concept called psychological aspects of a consumer behavior. What are the psychological aspects of a consumer behavior? See here, when understanding this consumer behavior is crucial for effective marketing. When we want to sell a product in a market or a services, understanding the psychological aspects of a consumer behavior plays a vital role. This consumer behavior is influenced by various psychological factors that shapes purchasing decision. Until and unless this is not going to be influencing, customer is not going to be purchasing the product. With that continuation, with that we are going to be call it as a consumer motivations. What exactly this consumer motivations is complex and multifaceted concept that driven individuals to identify and purchase product or services to satisfy their conscious and unconscious needs. There are two needs, conscious and unconscious needs. What are the factors which are going to be influencing on motivations? One is psychological factors, and the psychological factors in the first of my class, may call it as a sixth model, we discussed Maslow's need hierarchy theory. We are going to be call it as the 5 important steps which were there: security, esteem, self-actualization. Like these things: social, basic, security, esteem and self-actualization needs. Second aspect here: perception, learning, attitudes and beliefs. Perception about the product or services, learning mean to say that consumer learns about the product through experience using. Attitudes and beliefs, it means to say that what kind of attitude and beliefs a particular customer is having about a product or a services. Next thing is we are going to be call it as a social factors. In the social factors, these are the 3 important points which is going to be influencing. One is family, again it is influencing in social factors, reference groups and a role and a status of a individual customer. Third one we are going to be call it as a cultural factors. Here culture, subculture and a social classes. What is a culture? Culture mean to say that like values, needs, wants, preferences, perceptions and behavior learn from a family and a particular community. Like that only subculture, social classes also which is going to be influences in a cultural factors. Next is we are going to be called as a personal factors, again which are going to be influencing age and life stage, occupations, economic situations, may call it as the status, lifestyles, personality and a self concept which is going to be influencing in a personal factors. Now we are going to be discussing about 2 important concept we are going to be called as a intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. What is the intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation? Here we are defining very clearly. Intrinsic is arise from within the individuals. I mean to say that here from outside motivation is not going to be required in the intrinsic motivation. Person is already motivated, inbuilt characteristics is there. Second one is extrinsic. External factors such as reward, recognitions, societal expectations will going to be make them to become make extrinsic motivations. Next one is role of emotion. What is the role of emotions? Emotions also play a significant role in motivations. Positive emotions can enhance motivations, while negative emotions may serve as a catalyst for actions promoting individuals to avoid failure rather than pressure success. Now there is a concept called motivation research. What is a motivation research? It seeks to identify conscious and unconscious factors that influencing purchasing decisions and a brand engagement. Mean to say that when I am going to be purchasing a product, or when you are going to be buying a particular product or a services, consciously or unconscious factors which are going to be influencing purchasing decisions, that we are going to be connecting with the brand engagement. That is identifying underlying motivations, accounting for emotions factors such as decisions are often driven by emotions, feelings, personal associations, not just rational factors. Third one is uncovering systematic factors, translating insight to actions. Next is will going to be called as a consumer perceptions. Consumer perception mean to say that about particular product or a services, what kind of a perception I am having about the product or the services. There are lots of factors which are going to be influencing. One is personal experience about the product or a services. Again, it is going to be, may call it as a perception. Advertisement, mean to say that how companies are giving an advertisement, based on that my perception is going to be get changes. Third one is influencers, may call it as a brand ambassadors, role models, all those things. Reviewers, for example, whenever we are going to be purchasing a product in online, we are going to be review the star ratings 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. There are giving a reviews. Based on reviews, we are going to be, our perception will going to be get changes. Based on the social media, how a person is going to be will going to be communicating about a particular product, again perception will going to be get changes. So this importance of managing consumer perceptions, how a consumer perception will going to be managing, mean to say that positive consumer perception is a crucial driving customer engagement, loyalty of a business growth. If it is negative, it is a vice versa. Then what we have to do, these things, one is will going to be called as elements of consumer perception. One is will going to be called the sensation. What is a sensation? This is the initial stage in the consumer perceptions. Initial stage of a perceptions where consumers receive the stimuli, their sense, sight, hearing, touch, taste and a smell. What is this first stage? Either through the touching the product or hearing or seeing the product or some other ways, the first stage of informations about the perceptions we are going to be receiving. Then with the attention of the product. Third one is interpretation. Interpretation involves assigning meaning to the stimuli to have to be attended. Memory, that whatever we made, it is going to be there in our memory and will going to be recalled while buying the product. Perceptual mechanism, and we are going to be have a kind of a perceived risk. Perceived risk will going to be called as a concern about a product performance, concern about the value for money. What is the value for money? If I am going to be buying the product with the worth of 100 rupees, whether the product is going to be having a worth of 100 rupees or not. If it is worth of a product 100 rupees is there or not. Then concern about the satisfactions, concern about the product, concern about the waste of time. The next one is we are going to be call it as a next concept, perceptual mapping. What is a perceptual mapping? Perceptual mapping is a visual representation techniques used in a marketing to illustrate how consumer perceive a brand, product or a services relation to a competitors. Key features of perceptual mapping is, one is visual representations, identifying the different market gaps, then they are going to be making a perceptual gaps, understanding consumer preferences, what kind of a preferences customer is having. What are the steps to create perceptual map? One is select attributes. First step is selecting the attributes. set the various dimensions, identify the product and the various brands, plot the map and analyze and interpret. If not, go to the first one is select to attributes. Like that, again one by one we have to go. Last important concept in this unit is benefits of perpetual mapping. What are the benefits we are going to be getting while making the benefits of perpetual mapping? Here is, when we are making a perpetual mapping, enhanced market understanding, improved position strategies, target marketing efforts will going to be there. So, these are the three benefits we are going to be getting with the perpetual mapping.